Recognize our ranking member, Ms. Matsui, for 5 minutes for your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Trump administration is weaponizing the FCC to punish speech it doesn't like. A free press is supposed to hold power accountable. Commissioner Gomez, President Trump has threatened to revoke the licenses of NBC and ABC, claiming they're biased and give him only bad publicity or press. Yes or no, does the FCC have the power to take licenses away from network affiliates solely for the content of their news coverage?
No, they do not.
Okay. Chairman Carr has consistently used the FCC's news distortion policy to justify investigating broadcasters. Can you briefly describe the news distortion policy and whether, in your view, it allows the FCC to revoke or not renew a broadcast license for perceived bias?
Thank you for that question. So the news distortion policy covers local broadcasters broadcasting news about a significant event, but it requires intentionality to mislead about a significant event, not merely an incidental event. And it also cannot be used if you just simply disagree with the content and if it's just an incidental mistake. Now, the courts have looked at the constitutionality of the doctrine, and what they've said is, under the constitutional scrutiny, because we are looking at deliberate distortion and not just mere inaccuracy or a difference of opinion, that it would uphold the constitutionality of the news distortion policy. Under this FCC, however, we appear to be using the news distortion policy to go after any content that we don't like, and using that in conjunction with this vague public interest standard.
Okay. Chairman Carr, the Communications Act requires broadcasters to serve the public interest. Does that standard allow the FCC to censor or interfere with broadcasters' free speech under the First Amendment? I just want a yes or no here.
What the Supreme Court has said on this issue is that, quote, no one has a First Amendment right to a license. So the FCC enforcing the public interest standard on broadcasters, according to the Supreme Court, doesn't violate the First Amendment and doesn't constitute
So where do you come down? Is it yes or no? I want to just hear from you, yes or no?
So could you repeat it?
Yes or no? I mean, just don't quote the Supreme Court. Where are you, yes or no?
Look, the FCC has an obligation to enforce the public interest, and that's very unique as to broadcasters. Again, if you step back, broadcasters are unique among all other distributors of news and information because they have a license.
I don't need a speech now. Does the public interest include informing the public about what their government, including ICE, is doing in their local community? Yes or no?
The core ingredient of the public interest standard is to identify the needs of your local community and make sure you're meeting that.
Okay, so it's a yes, right?
Broadcasters have an obligation to identify and meet the needs of the local communities they serve.
Okay. When you talk about the public interest, does the public include Americans who disagree with the president? I just want a yes or no here.
Does the public include people that disagree with the president?
Who disagree with the
Yes.
president when you talk about public interest? Does that include Americans who disagree with the president? I just want a yes or no.
Yes, the public includes people that
Okay.
disagree with the president.
In 2021, you wrote that a newsroom's decision about what stories to cover and how to frame them should be beyond the reach of any government official. Do you stand by that today? Yes or no?
Yeah, in that context, there were members of this committee that wrote letters to cable companies, which again aren't broadcasters, no public interest obligation, and they pressured those cable companies to drop cable channels, Fox News, OAN, and Newsmax, because the members of this committee described them as right-wing outlets. I think when the Democrats on this committee did that, it was wrong.
Okay. So, to recap, we agree that broadcasters are protected by the First Amendment. Is that right?
Yes.
The public interest includes informing communities about government action, correct? And the FCC, a government agency, shouldn't influence newsrooms' decisions, correct? Okay. So why did the FCC open an investigation into KCBS in San Francisco after it covered the January 26th ICE raid in San Jose?
The FCC, I believe, received either a complaint or we heard concerns about that specific radio station, and we've raised those concerns. I believe we've heard back from that radio station, and we have nothing new to share to update on that investigation.
Okay, so,
That's time.
excuse me? Did I lose my time?
Yep.
Okay, it seems like.
Your time has expired.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.